Which 49ers player needs an impressive training camp the most? Jose.
I'm gonna go. There's plenty of people to pick here because in terms of are they gonna make the roster? Are they gonna make a role? Are they gonna make a starter? I'm going bold because I just made that article today, and the bold choice is Trey Lance to have an impressive training camp. Because in terms of the lens of being a week 1 starter, because obviously if he looks average or bad, he's not going to be a week 1 starter. And I think there's no better time for him to make a case to be a starter at any point in the season than from now until preseason or even part of preseason if you want to throw that in there. Because he's not going to see, or I guess I don't think he's going to see as much first team reps on a week-to-week basis throughout the season because there's only so many reps to begin with. And even if they do implement him, how much is he going to get, like a quarter? If that, I mean, I know they want us. I know it's whatever Trey Lance looks ready, but there's no better opportunity for him to look prime time in than now. Okay, is he looking the part with the technique? He's looking fluid. He's looking on the money. Does he have a firm grasp of the offense? And then from there, if they believe he's ready on that standpoint, all right, cool. Now we got to make that leap to see how he's going to be week 1 when he first gets that hit, when he adjusts to the game speed, when he sees coverages, can he decipher it or not, make the right calls? I mean, I think there's no better time for him to just in week 1 starting standpoint for him. That's on the hinge for him to grasp. He needs to win out training camp because I don't think it doesn't really matter what Jimmy Garoppolo does. It's all on him and what Trey Lance does himself.
Yeah, for me, this comes down to Aaron Banks. I think he needs to have a really impressive, training camp because he's not guaranteed a job very similar to Trey Lance. He doesn't have that job wrapped up. He's got to go out there. I think he's still going to have to show that he's better than Daniel Brunskill to get that job. And the 49ers really need him to win the position because he's a very good pass protector. At least he was when he was at Notre Dame. And if he can do that for their offense, it's really going to help out whoever the quarterback is because there's times when you watch him on film in college and guys just give up on him after a while. So they really need him to show out here in training camp and prove that he's the guy going into the season.
I saw Jeremy Price dropped in the comments the player that I'm going to go with. So I talked about the 2 wild cards, D Ford being the one on defense. Jalen Hurts is my one on offense. And, of course, you want all the rookies to be able to ball out and show that they're worthy of their draft status early on. But looking at Jalen Hurts, his leash is getting shorter and shorter. And I'm not just talking about with the 49ers. I'm talking about his NFL career as a whole. You look at someone like Trent Taylor, who barely caught on with the Bengals extremely late this offseason. And Trent Taylor has some stuff on his resume. I believe he had a 40-catch year his first year in the league. We haven't seen anything from Jalen Hurts yet. And it's extremely unfortunate that he has had to go through 2 big injuries in back-to-back seasons. You never want to have to see a player work hard to get back to where they were and then have to go through that same process all over again after they're close to recovery. So Jalen Hurts is definitely the player that I think needs to show out this training camp, this preseason. And again, if you get anything from him, it's a bonus. But right now it's more, we're talking about more than just him making or not making the team. Does the NFL going to continue to be in his career path?
For me, I think the player who needs to impress the most in training camp is Jawan Jennings, because I think if you look at the wide receiver 3 position right now, there's a lot of opportunity available. Nick just talked about Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts hasn't been on the field, and he hasn't proven that he can last and stay in the NFL. So I think it's a mix of opportunity. And then you look at some of the other players who are vying for that position who are healthy, like Richie James Jr., he's not necessarily in Kyle Shanahan's favor, it seems. So I think for Jawan Jennings, if he goes out and proves his worth during this training camp, during this preseason, I think he could really find himself in not exactly that Kendrick Bourne role, but the 49ers need a slot receiver, and they need someone who can do damage in the red zone. And I think Jawan Jennings can do both of those things. So, yeah, the opportunity's there, and he's just got to make it happen now.
Did you guys read my article? That was 4 out of the 5 players I put on here already today. So, and Grant's going to have the outfield one, which I'm looking forward to.
Who is that?
I don't know. It's going to be outfield. If I had an idea, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
Ooh, Mitch Wishnowsky.
Yeah, Mitch Wishnowsky.
Robbie Gould.
Tabor Pepper.
Shut the.
How about Mike McGlinchey? How about Mike McGlinchey? Yeah, man, he's got to be good the whole way through, man. If he has a bad training camp, he's gonna have a bad year. He can't flip the switch. he needs to be consistent. He needs to do well all off season. And to his credit, he was there the entirety of the OTAs, just like Fred Warner was. This is a guy who was made a captain last year. Didn't deserve it. Now he's trying to like get his career back up from rock bottom, and he's making the right strides. So he needs to keep doing that in training camp. Mike McGlinchey. And I think I'm expecting him to do it. I feel like he's doing everything and saying everything right this year. I don't know what happened last year. But the thing that bothered me about McGlinchey last year was not necessarily like how he was playing. People have down years, especially young people. It was the way he would talk afterward. He'd have a bad game and then go to a press conference and talk about everyone else and talk about the direction of the team. It's like, whoa, buddy. I know that they made you a captain, but you don't need to talk like this. And it actually, it annoyed me. That's why I started kind of like almost bullying him. I was like, dude, you need to stop. You need to stop. Just talk about yourself, focus on yourself. And I think he is now. He's doing everything right.
Yeah, but to piggyback off of what you were talking about, Grant, with the way that he kind of presented himself after down games, that Eagles game on Sunday Night Football comes to mind where he was the one that was responsible for letting the guy come through. I mean, it wasn't his fault that Nick Mullins threw that pass that was intercepted, but then looking on that final drive when CJ Beathard is having this heartwarming comeback bid and the team is in actual position, complete a Hail Mary, he got beat on back-to-back plays. And CJ Beathard got hit as he threw the ball. And I remember in that press conference, it was him and Trent Williams. They both said that they thought they had good games. And it was like they both struggled in that game specifically. And that's when the accountability thing really started to come about.
It's like we lost, but hey, I had a good game. I'm cool.
Yeah. And it's also like he talks like he's Fred Warner. Like he could talk about the defense and the overall direction of the team. And it's like, nah, man, just talk about why you missed that block. I know he was the captain, but it bothers me when a guy who isn't playing well is talking like he is. Just keep it to the minimum until you're a Pro Bowler, man, pretty much. But anyway, I think he's doing everything right this year. I'm trying to be positive, and I think he does need an impressive training camp. I think he's going to have an impressive training camp.